Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a Sonic drive-in fast food restaurant in Minecraft for all of your city building needs. To the best of my knowledge, we don't have a Sonic drive-in in the UK, so I had to do some research. And honestly, this might be one of the more interesting fast food related builds that I've ever made. It would seem as though not every single one of these has a dining in option. One would usually either eat under the canopy or in your car. However, some locations do, so I have opted to give this one an interior. Fun fact, I am hidden somewhere in the intro of this video. Leave a comment letting me know if, where and when you saw me. This is the amount of space required to make the build, including a handy grid, which you may choose to copy, that will show you the starting position. And here are all of the materials that we will use throughout the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all of these. Begin the build by placing 4 light blue concrete in a row on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then extend backwards 1 block, and then place 5 white concrete to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then leave a gap of 1 and then place a black stained glass pane. Place 2 white concrete, 1, 2. We then start extending backwards by placing a light blue terracotta, white concrete, red terracotta, white concrete, yellow terracotta, 3 white concrete, 1, 2, 3, then a light blue terracotta, white concrete, red terracotta, white concrete, yellow terracotta, and then a white concrete. We will then start extending across the back of the build by placing a light blue terracotta, remove 2 blocks to the right, 1, 2, place smooth stone in their space, then place oak doors on top of the smooth stone, followed by a red terracotta, 2 white concrete, 1, 2, then a yellow terracotta, and then 2 white concrete, 1, 2. We then start extending the white concrete forwards by placing a yellow terracotta, white concrete, red terracotta, white concrete, light blue terracotta, and then 2 white concrete, followed by a light blue concrete, which we will then extend towards us. 1, 2, 3. And this is where we do 2 things. We extend all the way over to the right to connect our shape together. This looks absolutely insane. However, what we will also do is extend that same block up by 3, 1, 2, 3, and we will do 2 things here as well. We will extend to the right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down, and we will also extend forwards another 1, 2, 3 like this. But then we want to return to this position and extend up by 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then extend these top 2 blocks to the right until we are level with the lower rows. So just to give you a look, here we go. Next, we are just going to move around to the front of the build, where we will extend these rows of light blue concrete to the right and down, and we can extend up and across as well. All of this just wants to join together like this. We should also just move to the back of this area as well and extend this row of light blue concrete all the way up to reach the height of the rest of it. And just whilst we are working on this area, let's also add some white stained glass pane here and here to the drive-thru window, and a heavy weighted pressure plate here. We are then just going to fill the window sections in with black stained glass. And then we are just going to seal up the roof section here, which you are more than welcome to leave open if you do so choose, or you can just add some glass to it. And we do just also have to add a row of light blue concrete to here too, and we will have to seal up some of the side of this. Next, we are going to go around the build and extend up every single white and terracotta block by 2. So 1, 2, and we do this for whatever block we encounter. So whether it's terracotta, white concrete, it doesn't matter, we extend them each up by 2. Just across the door here, you can either add some glass, or I'm opting for some white concrete. Before I forget, we are going to move around to the main entrance here and extend our black stained glass pane up by 2. And we will either suspend a single end rod just in front of the middle of the door here, or we can extend it down to the ground. This is basically just a pull door handle, so whichever you prefer. We will also add yellow concrete left and right of the door, and mangrove fence on the outer sides of the yellow concrete. We also want to place a 1x2 painting here on this wall to act as an order screen. That's my personal favourite painting for this part of the build in particular, just because it kind of goes with the rest of the build. Next, we are going to make the upper half of our Sonic by placing a row of oak planks along the side of our light blue concrete here, which we will then extend all the way over to the right and down to this corner of the building. We will then extend all the way back and down to this corner of the building, and across and down to this corner of the building, and then we will extend forwards as well, just like this. And now we are just going to work back on ourselves and fill in all of this empty space. However, once we reach the front of the build, we will do something a little bit different. We will connect the bottom of this space together, just like so. And then we will add a layer of oak planks along the inside of our rectangular shape. We will then fill the middle of this in with white concrete, and that will then allow us to make the sign a little bit later on. Next, we are just going to move inside of the build for a bit, and we're actually going to start off by removing all of the grass block on the inside of our building. I'm simply using smooth stone for the floor because I like the idea of the inside and outside of the restaurant kind of just flowing together. Next, we are going to add a row of light blue concrete in this position. We are then going to extend the concrete all the way up to the top of the build, just like so. We will then add a layer of smooth quartz block in this position, leaving the light blue concrete row and the oak plank row in line with it exposed. And we're just going to make sure that we finish off on the top side of the roof here, where we can fill the top of this in with oak planks. We aren't doing anything fancy for the roof. I think that the rest of the building is interesting enough without having to make the roof a little bit crazy as well. On this rare occasion, we are going to head inside of the build and work on the interior before we finish the outside. Step 1, we will extend this row of light blue concrete forwards, like this. And to the bottom, we will extend left 1, 2, 3, place an oak trapdoor, and then a light blue concrete, like this. Then we will extend this light blue concrete to the right, 1, 2, 3, and both down and also across to the opposite side and down, just like this. We will add red terracotta here and here before we move into the kitchen area. We'll start off by removing this row of light blue concrete, just like this, and we'll stick a blast furnace here, polished blackstone pressure plate on top, stone stair here, furnace here, detector rail here, free white concrete here, item frame here, flower pot here, brewing stand here. In addition to this, we will also have a flower pot here as well. Then we will place a smooth quartz stair here, painting in front of it, heavy weighted pressure plate here, and then we will place a chest here and a brown shulker box here. Oh, and also a lantern here. Let's just take a little look at what we've made. That's looking very good. And then we'll stick some red carpet just in front of this. And we'll also add some paintings starting from... Yeah, we'll block this off and then we'll have a bunch of paintings like this, preferably different ones. And these are meant to just represent different menu item pictures. Then we will stick a brewing stand here, detector rail here, lever here, stone button here, item frames, and then just some different potions here as well. Then moving into this back part, we'll have a double oak stair here, single here, end rods here, stairs on the opposite side of the end rods. We will then place another row of end rods behind the stairs, stairs here, and then stair here, end rod here, and then we'll have another one of these, so just another stair, another end rod. We'll use some red carpet for the table toppers, just like this. And there we go, we have a nice little arrangement of tables. If you would like to add some paintings above the tables, you can. Just some 1x1s will look nice, so here, and then maybe just... We'll actually leave this this area to the side. I think that that's just fine. But then we'll leave a gap of 1 here, double polished blackstone wall, gap of 2, 1, 2, double polished blackstone wall, yellow concretes on top, and then these are also just meant to represent the like self-order screens. And there we go. That's the inside. With the inside of the build complete, we are now going to head outside and work on the exterior. That feels very weird to say. The first thing we have to add is the canopy. To make this, we will come to this position and place 2 pale oak fence gates, 1, 2, then a pale oak fence, 2 more gates. That was embarrassing. And then another pale oak fence, 2 more gates, 1, 2. Then an upside down smooth quartz stair, smooth quartz block on top, stair on top, upside down stair in front. Then we'll place a smooth quartz block, and we are lining this up with our mangrove fence over there. And then we'll have the exact same arrangement as the opposite side. Upside down stair here, then here, solid block, and then we would find it easier to place an upside down stair with something to place it against. Then we'll extend back here, we'll place 2 gates, fence, 2 gates, and then a fence. And now you can either connect this together like so, which is fine, or I've actually opted to leave this side open because I think it just looks a little bit better. And then we are going to connect the smooth quartz back to the build just like this. And we're going to fill the top of this in. So this is meant to form a canopy with just a bunch of tables underneath that you can just choose to eat at if you like. And we're also going to add some smooth quartz slab around the lower half of the canopy that extends all the way around the build, all the way here, and we'll just connect to the other side, just like this, and then we will extend out this area that coincides with the light blue concrete, so we just want to add an extra row here. But not only that, we want to extend around the front, which I forgot to do. And I was going to add just another row, so originally I added another one here as well, but it might look better without it? Question mark? I don't know, we'll leave it like that for now, but it looks good either way. Anyway, we are going to drop underneath the canopy, and we will add some benches. So the benches are made by placing 2 oak slabs here, 2 oak slabs here, end rods in between, and then oak pressure plates on top. So we'll have one set of benches here, and then we'll leave a gap of 2, and then we'll go for another set of benches, which are the same. And then, originally, we also had just like a single bench here, but the more I think about it, the less I like it. So, instead, we are going to do some digging. We'll start off by just removing all of the grass and remaining grid from inside of the canopy. I think that that's the best place to start. By the way, it doesn't matter if you accidentally clip some other blocks extending further out. Every single block inside of the grid will ultimately be replaced, so it's not a big deal. It has to happen at some point. I am realising, though, it would have been easier to remove all these blocks before the tables. Anyway, once they're removed, we are going to replace all of these with smooth stone. As I said, I like the idea of having like a cohesive indoor-outdoor dining situation, so this is perfect. Now that we've done this, we also want to remove 2 rows of grass along the right side of the restaurant, extending around the back here as well. And it ends as we loop around the side, and we're actually going to add like an extra row just on the side here so that it like squares off with the drive-thru window. But all of this also wants to get replaced into smooth stone. And just moving around the back again, we're going to make a dumpster with 2 green terracotta, spruce trapdoors on top, leave a gap, dried kelp block, green candles on top, and then a flower pot here. I also forgot to add some glow item frames just inside of this area. There are meant to be, I'm using air quotes here, string lights underneath this canopy. And I think that we're going to leave a gap of 1, 2, maybe just a gap of 2 here, and then place a glow item frame. And here we'll leave a gap of 1, 2 glow item frame. And then if you leave another gap of 2 on both the left and right side, we will have 3 evenly spaced glow item frames. And then I'm thinking, if we line these up, maybe we'll actually line them up with the pale oak fence on the sides, and that will look good. So what we will have to do is we'll just shift the front row of these 1 row inwards, just like this, and then that way we've got like some nice evenly spaced item frames to act as like faux lighting, but I think that works rather nicely. If you wanted to go one step further, you could actually give yourself some light, so /give space your name space just light, and then you get these little light bulbs, and then from here you can place some light strictly where the glow item frames are placed, so you can make these emit light. And I'm wondering whether you can actually place the item light in the item frame. I'm not going to try it, to be honest with you, but there we go. That looks really good. They'll disappear in a second. There we go. That looks pretty nice under there. Next up, before we move on to the giant car park, we are going to make the sign. Throw down the loom, open it up, place a white banner in there with some red dye, and we are literally just writing out Sonic in big red letters. So S is made using the chief, base, and bend pattern. O is made with the pale dexter, pale sinister, chief, and base pattern. N is made with pale dexter, pale sinister, and bend. I is made with simply the pale pattern. And C is chief, base, and then pale dexter. And we can just chuck this in front of our white concrete that we placed earlier. And there we go, this is looking pretty good. Next, we will work on the giant car park and ordering system. So, the first thing that we have to do is remove 3 full rows of grass and grid from around the outer area of the restaurant. We are just following along the smooth stone pathway to begin with. Just making sure that we stick to 3 rows. And we're just extending along the side here in front of the drive-thru window and the canopy. And then we can just backfill all of this with grey concrete. Then we are going to add terracotta all the way along the right, back and left side of the grid, just to box our build in. Then we'll add a layer of polished granite slab on top of the terracotta. And then a layer of oak leaves along the inside of the terracotta. That will give us this. Then, lining up with the edge of the canopy here, the upside down stair, we'll trace along to the opposite side of the drive-thru road and dig 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. We'll place yellow terracotta in here, and then we want to repeat this pattern. We want to dig 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and we can replace this with cyan terracotta. But the important part is on the end here, we will remove that block and place a yellow terracotta. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can fill this in with cyan terracotta. And then on the end here, yellow terracotta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cyan, yellow terracotta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cyan, yellow terracotta. And that's the last one. We then can remove all of these blocks in between the yellow terracotta and the cyan terracotta. And we will extend the yellow terracotta to the drive-thru road. And we will fill in between these in using cyan terracotta. Then, on the ends of these, we will place a stone brick wall, yellow concrete on top, and we'll extend these inwards along the yellow terracotta, stone brick wall on top of the original yellow concrete, then red terracotta on top of the wall, which we will extend all the way along. And then we'll also just extend it one row this way. Then mangrove slab here, extend out, right, up, just like this. And then we're just going to extend these slabs all the way to the opposite side here. And then we'll do the same once we reach the end. So we'll have the same diagonal row. And we'll just join back on ourselves like this. So this is where the cars would pull in and order on these boards. We will add paintings to these in a little bit. And you sit and wait for your food and it gets brought to you and you can even eat it in here as well. From what I understand. Like I said, we don't have a Sonic in England, or if we do, there aren't many of them. Well, anyway, we are now going to move on to the opposite side and we are making literally the exact same thing, just mirrored. Line up with the stair onto the opposite side of the road, dig 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stick yellow terracotta in there, and then we will dig all the way to the right. We'll dig 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yellow terracotta, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yellow terracotta, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yellow terracotta, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yellow terracotta. And we'll just remove all of these grass blocks. And we'll extend the yellow terracotta to the drive-thru, and just as with the previous, we will place cyan terracotta all in between these rows. And now that we have done that, we will add our stone brick wall to the end of these bays. Then a yellow concrete onto the wall. Then we'll add another row of wall on top of these. I'm sad that I missed that one. Extend the yellow concrete inwards. Then a row of red terracotta on top of and connecting all of the wall together from one end to the other. We'll extend it inwards. We will then add a layer of mangrove slabs to the side of the red terracotta. Extend it out and then in and up, all the way up like this. We'll extend across. And then we'll just extend inwards and down. And there are only two things left to do. Last two things, we have to add paintings to our yellow concrete order boards. Now, on this side, it would make more sense to have them placed on this side of the yellow concrete rather than the side that I placed them on. But I think that I'm just going to double side them anyway because I just think it looks a little bit better, especially as you're just like wandering through the city to see some paintings. And we're going to do the same thing over here. And you may have noticed that I've got a bunch of the same painting. I actually decided to grab some just 1x2s for once so they don't grip onto the stone brick wall. Trust me, it's a whole ordeal. And there we go. That looks pretty good. So the last thing that we've got to do, which you guys may have figured out already, is we've just got to remove all of the remaining grass and grid from inside of the build. And we will just replace whatever we destroy with cyan terracotta just to contrast with the drive-thru. And now that we've filled that in, we will just go ahead and do the exact same thing to this side. Now, this wasn't part of the original tutorial, but I decided to add an extra 2 rows to the front of the build to add some pathway in front of these bays and to elongate the drive-thru areas. So in doing this, I realised it might actually be helpful to add some signs for the drive-thru as well. So we could add a polished black stone wall here with 2 light blue concrete on top of it, throw down a loom, open it up, light blue banner in there with some white dye, and we'll apply the chief pattern and the pale pattern. Put light blue dye in there with the bore jaw indented pattern, and that gives us an arrow which shows us that this is the way that we drive in. And on the opposite side here, we will place a polished black stone wall, 2 red concretes here, and then loom down again, red banner with some white dye, and we can just have the fast pattern. So you can leave it as is, or you can stick it back in with some red dye and apply the bordeaux around it, and that shows you that, like, this is the way in, this is the way out. And then there we go. Now, uniquely, because this is a drive-in restaurant, I feel compelled to show you how to make a super simple car as well. So just grab any color of wall you like, glass block, a matching carpet, stone button, and some glow item frames, and place 2 rows of 4 wool, like this, in either the bays or driving in or wherever you like, even on the roof if you fancy it. Extend up these 2 blocks here, glass in front, add carpets to the roof, glow item frames in the front, and then stone buttons on the side like this. And there you have just like the simplest car that you could possibly ever make, and you can populate this area with the cars if you like or not, but I just felt compelled to show you these things because I just thought that they improved the build, which, I mean, I think that they kind of do. And with those final details added, ladies and gentlemen, we have officially completed this tutorial. However, this video is not over. We must now add Sonic into our city. Not the Hedgehog, the drive-in. As this is the modern version of Sonic, I do feel compelled to place it in the modern suburbs. Although, there isn't really room for it, I am going to place it on the outskirts. But, spoiler alert, the modern suburbs is going to go through a huge change in the next few weeks. It is going to be irrecognizable, so it will be moving anyway, but for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this tutorial, please remember to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Also, consider becoming a channel member. You will gain access to loyalty badges, some fun emojis, and a monthly download for every single build used in our city. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.